ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now in the aerobic respiration, when you look at all the 4 steps, glycolysis as well as link reaction, Krebs cycle, and then followed by electron transport system. So all 4 steps if you look at, now respiration, if you look at very clearly, respiration has general main process when you take, generally respiration is considered as what? Catabolic process. Mainly it is a catabolic process. Generally we say what? Respiration is a catabolic process. We generally say respiration is a catabolic process. What is catabolic process here? So you know that a bigger molecule, a big molecule or large molecule, let us take large molecule get broken down and produces smaller molecules. The breakdown of large molecule broken down into smaller molecules, then the process is said to be as what? Catabolic process. And as a result of catabolic process, there is a release of energy. Energy is produced. Generally respiration we consider as a catabolic process where large molecule is split into a smaller molecules and finally energy is released. Energy is stored in the form of ATP. And this ATP is called as energy currency of the cell. And this is called energy currency of the cell. Okay, so generally this is what is respiration. But if you look at the respiratory substrates, meaning the substrates which undergo respiration, okay, respiratory substrates, what we are trying to talk, respiratory substrates. What are respiratory substrates? We will come back to what are respiratory substrates later. Meaning the substrates which undergo respiration, right? We will come back to this part. So if you take this respiratory substrates here, it is observed that in respiration, generally respiration is what? Respiration is a catabolic process. We agree. But if you look at carefully what happens in the respiration means, in respiration at one corner, in the respiratory substrates, even there is an occurrence of anabolic processes. What is anabolic process? You know that smaller molecules join together and form a bigger molecule. They form a large molecule. Combines to form a larger molecule. So here breaking down is happening and making is happening. Breaking down means catabolic process is called as what? Destruction process. It's called destructive process. Means here breaking is happening. Coming to this anabolic process is also called as constructive process. It's said to be called as what? Constructive process. Constructive means here making is happening. Smaller molecule they join together and they make a larger molecule. And you know here energy is consumed. For example, if you take photosynthesis, 686 kilocalories of energy is consumed. Here energy is consumed, here energy is released out. Right. Now if you take here, to some extent if you take the respiratory substrates, In respiratory substrates, it is observed that as a part of respiration, even anabolic process is also taking place. Means both are happening. Majorly respiration is considered as, no doubt it's a catabolic process, but you know, in making the components like, you know, proteins, they form amino acids. So amino acids are produced. So that's called anabolic process. Breaking, making, both are happening, but mainly breaking, mainly it's a catabolic process, but it's a part of respiration, even there is an occurrence of anabolic process. That's why respiration is considered as amphibolic pathway. That's why respiration is considered as amphibolic pathway or amphi pathway or amphibolic pathway. Okay, or we call amphipathic pathway. Amphipathic pathway. Amphi means both are happening. In respiration, both are happening. Anabolism is happening, catabolism is happening. It's called amphipathic pathway, or we call amphibolic pathway, means both processes are taking place. Okay, so let us see this. Now we know total picture of respiration. Let us see in respiration where anabolism is happening. Mostly it is catabolism, no doubt, but at some corners even anabolism is also happening. That's why it's called as amphipathic pathway or amphibolic pathway. Respiration is a amphibolic pathway. Let us concentrate on this. Right? Before that, let us see what are respiratory substrates. So what is the concept we are discussing? Respiration is a amphibolic pathway. Respiration is a amphibolic pathway, or you can write amphipathic pathway. Okay, right. Now let us study how respiration is considered as amphibolic pathway. Now in this, let us mainly talk about the substrates which undergo respiration. They are nothing but respiratory substrates. Now which mostly act as respiratory substrates. Which compounds mostly undergo the process called as respiration? What are respiratory substrates? The substrate which undergo respiration are called as respiratory substrates. Most commonly which undergo respiratory substrates? Let us take into consideration of monosaccharides. Mostly in this, if you take exoses, in this, which exoses? So you know general components like glucose, fructose, maltose, lactose and galactose. Right? So these all will come under monosaccharides. Generally they undergo the process called as respiration. Then apart from this, suppose if you take sucrose. Sucrose if you take, it's a disaccharide. Sucrose is nothing but what? A disaccharide. Generally sucrose also undergo the process called as respiration, and it is a non-reducing sugar. You know it very well. This is very important. Mostly we take sucrose. Sucrose is a non-reducing sugar, it is a disaccharide, it undergoes respiration. Right. Now, apart from this, even we can take the compounds like starch, inulin, cellulose, hemicellulose. So, these all are nothing but what? These all are nothing but, you remember, we studied at the time of biomolecules, this all will come under polysaccharides. This all will come under polysaccharides. Right. So what are this here? You can take monosaccharides. They are hexoses. Which hexoses? Glucose, fructose, maltose, lactose, galactose. They start undergoing respiration. They get broken down and release this energy. And most important component like sucrose. Most of the time food stored in the form of sucrose. Here now it is nothing but what? A disaccharide. Generally if you look at sucrose is the one mostly it participates in respiration, and you know it's a non-reducing sugar. Now if you take polysaccharide, in that you find what? Starch, inulin, cellulose and hemicellulose. These all act as polysaccharides. Even they undergo the process called as respiration. Now generally if you look at the phenomena, if you look at, for example if you look at, you know, I am just talking about photosynthesis. In photosynthesis what we have discussed, you know, for production of sugars what it need to undergo is Kelvin cycle. You know that 6 carbon dioxide molecules undergoes 6 Kelvin cycles to produce a 1 molecule of glucose. 1 molecule of glucose to produce 1 hexose sugar to synthesize for synthesis of a 1 hexose sugar. How many G3Ps are consumed? For the synthesis 2 G3Ps are consumed. For synthesis of 1 hexose sugar, that's nothing but 1 molecule of glucose. So for release of 1 molecule of glucose here, 1 molecule of glucose C6H12O6, 1 molecule of glucose. Right. So 6 carbon dioxide molecules undergo 6 Kelvin cycles to produce a 1 molecule of glucose. Now for suppose in the question if it is mentioned about sucrose, in the question it is mentioned about sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharide. Sucrose is a disaccharide. That means 1 molecule of sucrose if you have to synthesize. If 1 molecule of sucrose if you have to synthesize, you know that very well, glucose plus fructose is sucrose. Right. That means 2 glucose molecules are needed, or 1 glucose and 1 galactose is sucrose. That means here how many cycles you need to, at least you need to synthesize 2 hexose sugars. When 2 hexose sugars are get synthesized, then only you can make 1 molecule of sucrose. For 1 hexose sugar, how many carbon dioxide? 6 carbon dioxide, 6 Kelvin cycles. Then you need 1 hexose sugar. Now sucrose means it's a disaccharide. That means it needs 2 hexose sugars. 2 hexose sugar means how many carbon dioxide? So 12 carbon dioxide molecules. 12 Kelvin cycles it need to get operate for the synthesis of a 1 molecule of sucrose. So look at here, for whenever you get the question that for synthesis of 1 molecule of sucrose, how many Kelvin cycles are needed? So 12 Kelvin cycles are needed for 1 molecule of sucrose. This is very important, and mostly you have the chance to get it as a question. So 12 Kelvin cycles are needed at the time of photosynthesis to synthesize a 1 sucrose molecule, 1 molecule of sucrose. The ratio will be a 1 sucrose will be having 12 Kelvin cycles and 12 carbon dioxide. Right. So if you look at for 6 Kelvin cycles, what is the total number of ATP and NADPH2? You know it very well, 12 NADPH2 and 18 ATP. Based on that, even the question will be asked about energetics for sucrose molecule. So according to the number of Kelvin cycles you have to calculate. So this is nothing but you have to remember about sucrose. Right. So here let us come back to the point. Now Here, what are respiratory substrates here? Glucose, fructose, maltose, lactose, galactose, which are synthesized at the time of photosynthesis. Now they will undergo respiration. If not, the 2-hexosugar stored forms disaccharide called sucrose. Sucrose directly participates in the process called respiration. If not, starch, inulin, cellulose, hemicellulose. Where inulin is present, Stachys tubifera. Right, apart from this sunflower, Asteraceae, right, cellulose, hemicellulose, starch, mostly sugar is stored in the form of starch. Starch is dissolved, in biomolecules we studied. What is starch called as? Starch is called as a storehouse of energy. When energy is not needed, the sugars are stored in the form of starch. When they need energy, so starch converted and dissolved and converts into sucrose. So these are nothing but what we call our respiratory substrates. What do we call them? We call them as respiratory substrates. Now these respiratory substrates, they undergo the process called as respiration. Now maximum respiration occurs, maximum or high rate of respiration occurs in, maximum or high rate of respiration occurs where high rate of respiration occurs. Now high rate of respiration occurs in growing tips. This growing tips contains what? This growing tips contains apical bud as well as axillary bud, apical bud as well as axillary bud, right. Then where else you find high rate of respiration occurs in germinating seeds, right, germinative seeds. Along with that, active buds and wound regions, meaning damaged parts of the plant, germinating seeds, and what you call fruit formation, especially the fruit formation, flower formation, what not you can write. Active buds means what all will come? Flower formation, fruit formation, at the time of seed formation. In these all cases, what occurs is they need more energy for the formation, even for the formation of young leaves. Yes or no? The young leaves. So these all are newly produced new flowers, formation of young fruits, young flowers, seed formation. They need more energy. At the time there is a possibility of occurring high rate of transpiration. So maximum or high rate of transpiration occurs in growing tips, apical bud, axillary bud, even in case of germinating seeds, active buds in the formation of flowers, young fruit, seed formation, young leaves, wound regions, the parts which are got damaged, which are got affected, and to make them to repair, generally what occurs is nothing but mitotic cell division, and there one cell becomes two cells. They need more energy. At the time respiration happens and produces more energy. So maximum or high rate of respiration occurs in this all, right. Now let us see that where there is a minimum rate of respiration, where there is minimum or a low rate of respiration, minimum or low rate of respiration. So if you look at minimum or low rate of respiration, if you look at a low rate of respiration, if you see, that is minimum, you find in case of occurs in case of dry seeds. Dry seeds has very low rate of respiration. Apart from that, fleshy fruits, dormant buds, right. Now these are the places where we find minimum or very low rate of respiration. Where you find very low in case of dry seeds, fleshy fruits and dormant buds, buds which are not active, which are become kept quiet, the buds which are not expressive in growth, then these are the places where you can see a minimum rate, low rate of respiration. So, if you look at respiratory climacterics is also there, that is ripening of the fruit apple shows highest rate of respiration at the time of ripening, that is called respiratory climacterics, right. So, before we talk about respiration, why it is called amphibolic pathway. So, here respiratory substrates generally are nothing but what not glucoses, these all are nothing but sugars. What are they? Hexoses, glucose, fructose, maltose, lactose, galactose, and sucrose nothing but disaccharide, it is a non-reducing sugar. Starch, inulin, cellulose, hemicellulose all will come under polysaccharides. These all are nothing but what? Generally the respiratory substrates are nothing but what? Carbohydrates. Generally respiratory substances are nothing but carbohydrates. Which carbohydrate means these all will come. Sometimes not only these all are carbohydrates, what we have listed out, these all are carbohydrates. Apart from carbohydrates, sometimes even fatty acids, that is nothing but fats, along with the carbohydrates. Sometimes even proteins also undergo breakdown and produces energy. So, which act as respiratory substrates? First one is nothing but carbohydrates, even fats and glycerols, and third one is nothing but proteins. The diet or the food what we take, it contains carbohydrates, fatty acids and proteins. These act as respiratory substrates. They undergo breakdown process, catabolic process, and they release energy. Right. So, carbohydrate, fatty acids, proteins act as respiratory substrates. These all are nothing but carbohydrates like monosaccharides, oligosaccharides. In oligosaccharides, sucrose is a disaccharide and polysaccharide. So, you may be asked which is the example for oligosaccharide. Then take sucrose. Sucrose is an example for oligosaccharide. Which oligosaccharide means disaccharide. That is nothing but sucrose. So, this all will come under respiratory substrates. Let us continue further. Respiration is considered as an amphibolic pathway. Why? Now let us talk about respiratory substrates. So when you take the respiratory substrates, mostly respiratory substrates are nothing but carbohydrates, no doubt. But you know, sometimes respiratory substrates may be fats, or sometimes respiratory substrates may be proteins. Right? Now, so you know that we mainly discuss about aerobic respiration. You know, carbohydrates means which all will come means. So you know that glucose or maybe fructose or maybe galactose and all, or you say maltose, or you may be lactose. Now what happens in the very first step under aerobic respiration? What occurs first is nothing but glycolysis. In glycolysis, glucose get broken down. So you know that very well. I will just write here glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 6-phosphate, then into fructose, glucose 6-phosphate, fructose 1,6-biphosphate. Right? In glycolysis what we have discussed, glucose is nothing but the main substrate which undergo breakdown process, catabolic process. Glucose converts into glucose 6-phosphate, converts into fructose 6-phosphate, converts into fructose 1,6-biphosphate, and that get broken down and produces what? DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Up to here it is an exo sugar, and here G3P, then it converts into what? Triose sugars. Get converts into triose sugars. Up to here they are exose sugars. Right. So here 2 molecules, even this is a triose sugar. And these all are again a reversible reaction. DHAP gets converted into G3P. What is the G3P? G3P gets converted into 1,3-biphosphoglyraldehyde, then into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, then into 2-phosphoglyceraldehyde, PEP, and then finally into pyruvic acid. So, pyruvic acid is a main component, the end product of glycolysis if you take pyruvic acid. Okay, so let us write little up because we have to show more here. Let us take this as little up. So, here I am writing G3P. DHAP can convert into G3P, little up, so we need little more space. So, what is that? 1,3-biphosphoglyraldehyde, 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, 2-phosphoglyceraldehyde, PEP, and then converts into what is called 2 molecules of the end product of glycolysis. What is that? Pyruvic acid. Pyruvic acid is nothing but a triose sugar produced by the end of glycolysis. Right. Now, this is main pathway. Mostly glucose carbohydrates they undergo breakdown, catabolic pathway at the time of respiration. Now, you know it for the story. Now, this gets converted into 2-acetyl-CoA link reaction, and that undergoes what? A Krebs cycle. That undergoes what? A Krebs cycle. During Krebs cycle, carbon dioxide is released out even with the addition of what is called CoA. Right? Then followed by, of course, then followed by what is nothing but, what is the next one? Then followed by ETS, electron transport system. So, let us take ETS last step, because in ETS there is a generation of energy, there is a generation of ATP. So, using the pathways of different respiratory substrates, how energy is consumed means ETS will come. But where energy is produced means up to Krebs cycle. Whatever the energy is produced up to Krebs cycle, everything converts into ATP at the time of ETS. So, ETS is the last step, keep it aside, but mostly respiratory substrates keep breaking down in producing energy. Instant levels of energy, stepwise release of energy happens up to Krebs cycle. Now, this is carbohydrate general mechanism. What happens if the respiratory substrate is fats? Suppose we have not consumed carbohydrates, now we are going on taking junk food outside. So, junk food contains more fat, fats or we call lipids, right? Fats are also called as what? Lipids, right? Now, these lipids get broken down to form what? Fatty acids, get broken down and to form fatty acids, or we say glycerols. Or they get produced with what? Fatty acids, or we say glycerols. So, what are produced here? Fatty acids and glycerols are produced. So, what is happening here? So, when fats are nothing but what? They are complex compounds, they are complex in nature. So, they are also called as what? Lipids. Now, these fats and lipids, they are complex in nature, they get broken down and produced what? Fatty acids and glycerols. So, what is happening here? Larger molecules of fats are broken down and produces smaller molecules. So, what is happening here? Catabolism. Larger molecules or complex molecules are broken down and produce simple molecules. What is happening here? Catabolism. Similarly, carbohydrates are large chain of CH2, CH2, CH2 if you join, produced with carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates are complex in nature. Complex carbohydrates are broken down and released to simpler molecules. What's happening here? Even what is happening here is nothing but catabolism. Okay, what is happening here is catabolism, right? Similarly, when you take proteins, But before we talk about proteins here, now these fatty acids and glycerols and directly get converted and enters into where? Now these fatty acids directly they get produced with what? Pyruvic acid. They also undergo several intermediates. They get converted into different intermediate compounds. These intermediate compounds finally get produced with what? 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So, here the intermediates which are here, which are produced here, they all smaller molecules, finally they join and form what is called a pyruvic acid, and finally they all smaller molecules join together and form a 6 carbon compound. So, different glycerols are produced here. Mono, di, triglycerols are produced. They get broken down. You know, C double bond OH. We studied in biomolecules, and they get broken down. Several intermediates are produced, and finally the intermediates may convert into either pyruvic acid, or finally they enter into the same pathway again, or they get converted into what? Acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA again enters into Krebs cycle. Here it forms citric acid. Citric acid is an hexo 6 carbon compound, whereas pyruvic acid is a 3 carbon compound. Acetyl CoA is a 2 carbon molecule. So, 2 carbon acetyl CoA, 3 carbon pyruvic acid, they all are smaller molecules join together and form bigger molecule called citric acid. So, what is happening here? Here anabolism. What is happening here? Anabolism. Similarly, let us talk about proteins. Now, suppose we are taking, now we are on diet, we are taking protein, fiber food we are taking more rather than carbohydrates. Generally, you know, our food contains all carbohydrates are present, fats are present, proteins are also present. Let us imagine maybe when you take junk food, outside food, and more fatty acids, less of carbohydrates. Similarly, when we are on diet, when we are taking only protein, fiber food, then you find more of proteins and less of carbohydrates and less of fatty acids. Suppose if protein acting as a major respiratory substrates, then what happens here? The proteins are get broken down. Proteins get broken down and produced with what? Amino acids. Proteins get broken down and form amino acids. What is happening here? Catabolism. And these amino acids directly either converts into pyruvic acid, or directly they can convert into what? Acetyl CoA. So, here they also undergo, there are several intermediates here. There are many intermediates in substrate get converted into product, again product becomes substrate, get converted into product, substrate again converted into product, finally it becomes acetyl CoA. Right. Similarly, fatty acids or glycerols converted into pyruvic acid, it also has many intermediates. Either it converts into fatty pyruvic acid, or it directly get converted into what? Acetyl CoA. So, even here also there are many intermediates. Now, these amino acids, when they join together and form acetyl CoA again enters into citric acid. It produced with citric acid. Citric acid is a major component what you find here. Now, this citric acid undergo Krebs cycle and produced with what? Energy is released out. So, here what is happening again? Even though the protein food is taken, amino acids are produced. What is happening here is catabolism. These amino acids, they further get broken down into 2 carbon acetyl CoA. Again the smaller molecules join together and form a citric acid as a major component. Right. So, here what is happening here? It is nothing but anabolism. So, here catabolism is taking place, here catabolism is taking place, here catabolism. Simultaneously anabolism is also taking place. That is why respiration it is considered as amphibolic pathway or amphipathic pathway. Means in this both are happening. Which are happening? Catabolism is also happening and anabolism is also happening. Means breakdown is happening and making is also happening. Destruction is happening and preparing of bigger molecule is also happening. Both are happening at the time of respiration. That is why respiration is considered as amphibolic pathway. Generally, most of the times if you look at, now most of the times carbohydrates act as a major respiratory substrates. Carbohydrates mainly act as a respiratory substrates. Rarely complex fatty acids, complex proteins, generally they don't act as respiratory substrates. Why? Because they yield very less energy. So, when you take here, generally they yield very less energy. One second. Very less energy. Why? Because here the fatty acids, generally if you take, write down the note point, generally fats and proteins, generally they will not act as a main respiratory substrate. They does not act as main respiratory substrate because they always get coupled with carbohydrates. Fatty acids always get coupled with carbohydrates. Proteins are also always get coupled with carbohydrates. Both fatty acids, carbohydrate, proteins all together exist in the diet, and all together they undergo both catabolism and anabolism. That is why respiration is considered as what? Amphibolic pathway. So, here intermediates can convert directly into pyruvic acid. So, here also intermediates can convert directly into acetyl-CoA. Or sometimes what happens, the fatty acids are get broken down, they enter into DHAP, they can convert into DHAP. So, any one of the intermediate can join into glycolysis. Here also any of the amino acids may get converted into phosphoglyceraldehyde. So, here you cannot say that this becomes pyruvic acid or it can convert directly into acetyl-CoA. It may also enter into in the middle of the glycolysis, and DHAP converts into G3P and continue the pathway. Or sometimes proteins directly enter into phosphoglyceraldehyde, and from here they convert into PEP and pyruvic acid, acetyl-CoA, and they continue the pathway called as Krebs cycle, and finally in the ETS they produces what is called energy. So, fats and proteins alone they will not become a major respiratory substrates. They always get coupled with what? Carbohydrates at the time of aerobic respiration. That point is very important. And one more thing you remember, fatty acids always may not become end product of glycolysis called pyruvic acid. It may convert into DHAP or it may convert into phosphoglyceraldehyde. From there they continue. That means they become part of the glycolysis and continue the carbohydrate metabolic pathway, because major one is carbohydrates metabolic pathway. And remember, respiration has both processes. That's why it's called as amphibolic pathway.